And now it is my great pleasure to introduce the SME graduating class of 2018. Thank you, Mr. Tepfer and the SME Band. At this time, we would like to invite the audience to stand and face the flag on the north end of the stadium and join our senior choir members under the direction of Mr. Ken Foley in the singing of the national anthem after the colors are presented by the NJROTC under the direction of Lieutenant Commander Jim Dusek.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets that glad the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Okay, students, you may now be seated. Good evening and welcome to the graduation of the 60th graduating class of Shawnee Mission East High School. Please join me in recognizing and thanking the SME Choir for that beautiful rendition of our national anthem. High school graduation serves as an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the hard work, diligence, and achievements of our students over the past 4 years. This year's graduating class of Shawnee Mission East has much to celebrate. Their virtues and talents have been demonstrated in a number of ways, through their performance in the classroom, on the athletic fields, in the performing arts, and in the community. This class has shown themselves to be a distinguished group of young people. All of these accomplishments are a result of these students' academic abilities, dedication, curiosity, and perseverance. Each and every one of you sitting here tonight has so much to be proud of and to celebrate. And for that, we applaud you. At this time, I would like to introduce the Shawnee Mission East administration who are with us this evening. Associate Principals, Mr. Jeff Story and Mr. Britt Haney, and Athletic Director, Mrs. Debbie Catsby. And now to present the district administrators who have joined us this evening, Mr. Story.
It is my pleasure to introduce our Board of Education members on stage this evening. Please stand as your name is read. Dr. Mary Sinclair, East Area Board of Education member. Patty Mack, Vice President, Northwest Area Board of Education member. Sarah Goodburn, North Area Board of Education member. Thank you. Mr. Haney.
It is my pleasure to introduce the East Area Elementary and Middle School principals who have joined us this evening. Please stand as your name is read. Chris Lash, Principal at Briarwood Elementary. Chris Lowe, Principal at Corinth Elementary. Leanne Combs, principal at Highlands Elementary. Kristen Jones, principal at Prairie Elementary. Brian Watson, principal at Tomahawk Elementary. Kathy Keith, principal at Westwood View Elementary. Dr. Scott Sherman, principal at Indian Hills Middle School. And Paul Caldwell, principal at Horizons. Thank you. And now Denny Rice, student body president, will deliver the welcome speech.
Good evening, Lancers. Lancer of the day today is Anna Canali. Please stop by the Stuco room during 5th hour to pick up your prize. And to everyone who is never Lancer of the day, I'd like to remind you that you were technically Lancers every day, just without the sticker and the unsharpened pencil to say so. But before things get too emotional up here, I have one last favor to ask the class of 2018. In keeping with tradition, I'm going to take the graduation selfie before the tears kick in. So if you could, please take a second, get yourself situated, and give me your best Graham-worthy soft smiles. Thank you for that. And if you'd like a copy of that selfie, please check the East Office Instagram. It'll probably be up there in about 30 seconds or so. But in all seriousness, I'd like to start today by thanking all of the friends, family, and faculty that are here supporting the 459 soon-to-be graduates seated in front of me. Today's ceremony marks the culmination of 4 years of essays, tests, friends, teachers, and everything else that's supposed to make up a traditional high school experience. But what separates our high school experience from a traditional high school experience is that we have all had the privilege of attending one of the best high schools in the state of Kansas and the even greater privilege of calling ourselves Lancers. And whether your high school experience was fantastic or you're just excited to be moving on to bigger things, each and every one of you has had a hand in shaping the culture and the legacy of the class of 2018. Every single one of you sitting out here today has contributed something to East. The actor Fred Crane once said, "I am but a small shard in a great mosaic." In the same sense, you all contributed to the bright and colorful and diverse mosaic of the class of 2018. But it's hard to talk about the class of 2018 without starting at the beginning. And for most of you, that first step to becoming a full-fledged Lancer started at Link Crew orientation freshman year. That day was August 13th, 2014. Keep that date in your mind. That day started in the Shawnee Mission East gym with a group of 459 anxious, uneasy freshmen who had already passed the first real test of high school, picking the perfect outfit for your first day of school. And whether you were intimidated by the sheer size of East or worried about not knowing anyone on that first day, everyone was afraid of something. And just like the shards of a mosaic, everyone arrived on that first day with rough edges and a desire to fit in. But I sincerely believe that chaotic and at times overwhelming first day succeeded in building a bond between a class that would come together to do great things. Hopefully, since that nerve-wracking first day, you've been able to take advantage of all of the opportunities East has to allow you to grow as a student and, more importantly, as a human being. One of the most impressive aspects of East is the sheer number of ways for students to get involved, for students to figure out how they want to leave their mark on the East community. And whether it's through soccer or debate or Tete-a-Day Club or Ultimate Frisbee or any one of East's dozens of clubs, sports teams, and student organizations, everyone is able to find a space and a group of people where they belong. And the great thing about East is that we're fortunate that we're pretty good at what we do. The class graduating today is the same class that, as freshmen, witnessed Shawnee Mission East football win their first ever state championship. And I'm sure many of you can remember the pride and euphoria of rushing the field at Emporia State after that state championship game. And I believe that that experience set the bar for our class. The expectation being that we, the class of 2018, would strive for excellence like every class that has come before us. I believe that all of the Lancers sitting in front of me today have met that expectation of achievement. These Lancers having contributed to numerous state championships for our sports teams, countless accolades for our writing and journalism programs, state and national championships for our speech and debate teams, dozens of Blue Star Awards for our theater program, and an untold number of other recognitions and commendations. The sum of those achievements is your legacy to East. But it's not just the awards that matter. It's the character and integrity and drive of the people behind those awards that make them so special. Your legacy is not demonstrated by the medals or the plaques or the trophies. Your legacy is the bar you set for yourself so that others may follow. Today is May 15th, 2018. Since freshman orientation on August 14th, 2014, you've had 1,371 days as a Lancer to build relationships, to learn something new, and most importantly, to give something back to your school and to your community. To echo the words of Fred Crane, we are all shards in a mosaic of the class of 2018. No single shard is itself more significant than any other, but each shard is valuable because it has contributed to something bigger and more beautiful than itself. Thank you for all of your contributions, Lancers. Best of luck in whatever comes next.
Thank you, Denny. Well, good evening. My name is John McKinney, and it is, as always, a privilege to greet you as the principal of Shawnee Mission East High School. I would like to thank everyone responsible for making this evening happen, including Dale Clark and his custodial crew, the Shawnee Mission District Operations and Maintenance staff, Information Services, and the staff at Shawnee Mission North. I also want to give special thanks and recognition to Mrs. Chris Pearson, who for years has overseen our graduation ceremony and ensures that everything runs smoothly. Thank you, Mrs. Pearson. Now it is my honor to recognize our distinguished faculty. This is the last night that many of the teachers you see before you will be together as a staff. I would like to offer my thanks to those teachers who will continue in the teaching profession, but will be moving on from Shawnee Mission East. Thank you for your commitment to our students and our school. I would also like to recognize staff members who are retiring after this year. They are Janine McPhee, Deanna McClendon, Alex Migliazzo, Stephanie Blackmer, and Chris Pearson. Together, these educators have over 100 years of combined service. Thank you for your commitment to the Shawnee Mission School District and for being a part of Shawnee Mission East. At this time, I would like to recognize several groups of students who have represented East in a positive way, both in and beyond the classroom. Would you please stand if during your 4 years at Shawnee Mission East you were involved in athletics? Would you please stand if during your time at East you were involved in debate or forensics? Would you please stand if you were involved in DECA? Would you please stand if you were involved in cheer or dance? Please stand if you were involved in music or theater. Please stand if you are a member of any Shawnee Mission East club. Please stand if you are a member of the student council. Please stand if you participated in a share activity. And would you please stand if you attended classes with the Shawnee Mission School District signature programs? That's a good-looking group right there. Thank you. You may be seated. In addition to those activities, this year 87% of our senior class participated in East's annual Senior Service Day and assisted at over 20 organizations across the Kansas City area. Thank you for your service. As you can see, students from Shawnee Mission East never shy away from a challenge, and that is particularly true when it comes to academics. If you look in your program, you will see an explanation for the honor cords, stoles, and pins that students are wearing. At this time, I would like to recognize our seniors who, over the course of their 4 years at Shawnee Mission East, have earned academic honors of cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude. First, we'll recognize the cum laude students. Cum laude means with honor. Each of these students is graduating with a GPA of 4.0 and above. In honor of this accomplishment, these students have received a Columbia Blue Honor Cord. If you have been awarded a Columbia Blue Honor Cord, would you please stand? Parents and guests, would you please join me in recognizing these students and their accomplishment? You may be seated. Thank you. Next, we would like to recognize our magna cum laude students. Magna cum laude means with great honor. Each of these students is graduating with a GPA of 4.4 and above. In honor of this accomplishment, these students have received a Columbia Blue and White Honor Cord. Would our magna cum laude students please stand, and parents and guests, would you please join me in recognizing this accomplishment? You may be seated. Thank you. And finally, we would like to recognize the students who have earned summa cum laude. The title summa cum laude represents students graduating with highest honor. Each of these students graduated with a cumulative GPA of 4.65 and above. They are being recognized with the Columbia Blue and Gold Honor Cord. Would the following students please stand and remain standing when your name is called? Names are being read in alphabetical order. Juliana E. Ames, Mary Grace Apodaca, Hazel R. Carson, Grace K. Chisholm, Elaine C. Duckworth, Mary Beth Eddy, Isabel J. Epstein, Kirsten M. Erickson, John A. Furla, Ellie A. Green, Natalie K. Grills, Aman M. Jarudi, Isabella A. Closter, Andrew A. Moore, Sophia R. Pomeroy, Dennis J. Rice, Kelly Romer, Sophia M. Steckschulte, Thomas P. Sweat, Ingrid A. Worth, Savannah K. Worthington, Lingwan Wu. Would you please join me in recognizing the accomplishments of our summa cum laude seniors? You may sit down, thank you. In all, over 100 graduates are being recognized tonight for earning high academic honors. Congratulations to all these students. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Andrew Moore, Senior Class Vice President, and Grant Radel, Senior Class Secretary.
Good evening. I cannot believe that we are already graduating. I remember back to that freshman orientation day. I came in thinking I was king of the hill. Of course, on the second day, the upperclassmen joined us, so I was sorely disabused of that notion. But over the past 4 years, I can genuinely say that this group, we are the best of the best. Shawnee Mission East is the best school in the country, hands down, no contest. And you know, we didn't just attend Shawnee Mission East. No, we led Shawnee Mission East. We did amazing things. Our sports teams, they won more championships than anybody else. Our debate and forensics teams, they're winning national competitions every single year. our journalism program, they can get more awards than I can count. And you know, academically, no one even comes close to us. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Because, you know, if we had the time, or if the seats were comfortable enough, I would list every single amazing thing that we have done over the past 4 years. But what gets me really excited is not what we have done, which is amazing, but what we are going to do. Because wherever you go, whatever you do, you're always going to be a Lancer. And you're always going to show the people around you what it means to be a Lancer. When you are working hard and succeeding, just being an amazing person in general, people are going to remember Shawnee Mission East Class of 2018. When future generations and students walk through those halls and see our legacy, they are going to remember Shawnee Mission East Class of 2018. And when the world sees what we do and what we accomplish, they are going to remember Shawnee Mission East Class of 2018. And when we look back and remember all the friendships we had, all the memories we made, all the amazing things that we have done, we are going to remember the best, the Shawnee Mission East Class of 2018. Thank you.
We did it. Whether the road was clear or covered with debris, whether you're elated it's over or mourning its end, we made it and we did it together. As a class, we have rallied around each other in times of need and in times of happiness. In the face of adversity, we pulled together. We stood united against a hate group who wanted nothing more than for us to give in to their negativity. We were there for our rivals when tragedy struck them, and we were there for each other when we lost one of our own. We showed out to cheer on the Lancers at the Rock game for football and the South game for basketball. This is our last time together, all of us, the class of 2018. If you look around, you'll see some of your friends and some people who you've never talked to. Just know that everyone here tonight is what makes the Lancer community special. We all have different struggles as individuals and as a group, from trying to stay awake in class to praying the Wi-Fi works for an entire day or even feeling like you belong. Whether athletics, theater, journalism, or academics, everyone here was involved in shaping the image and legacy of the class of 2018. No matter what you do in life, whether you're collecting garbage or performing brain surgery, do it to the best of your ability. Commit yourself to excellence. Those who show up and don't put forth any passion or effort aren't respected or remembered. It's the people who, no matter what they do or where they're from, whose hard work leaves an impression. No one ever regrets putting forth maximum effort, because at the end of the day, you know you did all you could do, regardless of the outcome. Don't be left wondering whether it could have played out differently, or if your life could be better, all because you didn't want to give effort. Live a life that you and your loved ones can be proud of, and leave a legacy that's worth remembering. Never wonder what if, just go for it. If life has taught us anything, it's that the only things that are impossible are the things we never attempt. We all have the potential to be great, but it's what you do with that potential that matters. Follow your dreams, do what you love. It's your life, not your grandparents, parents, or friends, it's yours. Tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. You get one shot at life, so make it count. I'm going to end with a quote from Michelle Obama, and it is, "You may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve all the world's problems at once. But don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious, and hope can take on a life of its own." Quick word, if you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, you need to join that so we can get all the reunion stuff out there. And I want to shout out Ms. Feinberg for being an awesome teacher the past 2 years. And, you know, she keeps getting snubbed for Teacher of the Year, but she'll get it one day. So, thank you.
Nice job, fellas. Members of the Board of Education, the students who will be receiving their diplomas this evening have passed all requirements for graduation according to the laws of the state of Kansas and the Board of Education of the Shawnee Mission School District. I am pleased to present them to you for presentation of their diplomas.
On behalf of the Shawnee Mission Board of Education, I accept the recommendation of the staff and administration of Shawnee Mission East High School, and ask that the members of the class of 2018 present themselves for the presentation, I'm getting verklempt, of diplomas.
As our graduates walk across the stage this evening, our faculty reading names for our seniors are Meredith Sternberg, Amy Anderson, Pam James, and Brett Kramer. And now, would the first row please stand and come to the stage to receive your diplomas.
Laura Smith Adams. Laura Smith Adams. William Maxwell Abersold. Carla Aguilar. Victoria Christine Allison. Juliana Elizabeth Ames. Elizabeth Sarah Anderson. Mary Grace Apodaca. Sydney Abigail Ashner. Jenna Therese Babick. Ava Jane Baker. Brittany Lynn Barr. Ashton Crean Baker. Sophia Catherine Barreca. Keith Michael Barry. Luke August Beasley. William Champion Benjamin. Allison Marjorie Benson. Rihanna Yeshi Bethia. Riley Corinne Beveridge Calvin. Caroline Marie Bluebaugh. Emery Russell Bose. Graham Porter Bullar. Tyler Scott Bowles. Virginia Daisy Bolin. Keelan Rashad Bolton. Daniel Joseph Bond. Garrett Matthias Borger. Milton Charles Brash II. Alexander David Bronzeru. Trinity Ann Brothers. Joseph Henry Brulette. Nicholas Louis Breyer. Jason Lyle Bryant Jr. Sean Michael Budzowski. Alex Bulbarella. Christian David Bullers. Owen Thomas Burrows. Caroline Adele Bush. Jackson J. Bush. Nathan Eric Kane. Chloe E. Calderon Hush. Micah Lynn Callahan. Adam Patrick Cameron. Natalie Michelle Cameron. Seamus Matthew Carroll. Hazel Rose Carson. Andrew Schuyler Carter. Bradley Alexander Chapin, Grace Catherine Chisholm, Siddhart Chaudhary, Brian Charles Christian, Astrid Grisel Cifuentes Albanez, Tyriana Mamie Clardy, Christopher D. Closser, Max Severson Collins, Lily Margaret Condon, Maxwell Harley Conrad, Gracie Shiolan Crabtree, Helen Jeanson Cross, Sebastian Cruz, Isabel Elena Cunningham, Tyler Andrew Cunningham, Edward Priester Kerfman, Will Jacob Curran, Brianna Curry, Jade Daly Rontved, Kate Mitchell Danziger, Isabella Andrea Darris, Alicia Cherie Davis, Lauren Elmeyer Davis, Nathan David Davis, Zoe Grace Davis, Tanjira Dechadawang Na Ayataya, Kendall Ann DeCourcy, Aziria Demi, Brittany Nicole DeGroff, Madeline Cowles DeRusso, Quinn Ronell DeRusso, Claire Annalise DeVolder, Benjamin Neil Dollar, Megan Lindsay Drake, Carolyn L. Dreyer, Elaine Carol Duckworth, Kate Lily Ray Dunley, Diamond Lee Durham, Timothy Hoy Duvall, Taylor Grace Eby, Mary Beth Eddy, Carolyn Rebecca Edge, Alexandria Leanne Edwards, Carolyn Stevens Eric, Sydney Taylor Embry, Tony Danae England, Isabel Jane Epstein, Kirsten Marie Erickson, Claire Marie Evans, Cooper Jackson Fanning, Victoria Elizabeth Fanning, Catherine Lily Fott. Samuel Hovey Fay, Isabel Rose Fimbres, Justin Joseph Finnegan, Sophia Lynn Flanagan, Christian James Flatten,
William Ritchie Fogel,
Andres Emmanuel Font, William Allen Fox, Samuel Benjamin Friedman, Marty Hadel Fromm, Elizabeth Conrad Fry.
John August Boron Furla, Desiree Naya Gadwood, Grace Blair Garby, Guadalupe Garcia, Nicholas Emmanuel Gasperi, Spencer Daniel Glazer, Sarah Elizabeth Glidewell, Jonah David Golder, Daniel I. Goldstein, Samuel Martin Goldstein, Monica Susanna Gonzalez, Harrison Marshall Gooley, John Gorman, Benjamin Dean Gray, Ellie Alexis Green, Quinn Joseph Griffin, Natalie K. Grills, Mark Wesley Guastello, Andrew Richard Gunya, Venus Carolina Gutierrez, Gwyneth Bethany Hagan, Nicholas Daniel John Hale, Reeser Richard Hall, Catherine Mary Hankey, Daniel Ring Hansen, Natalie Jo Hardy, Noelle Christine Harkins, Isaac Gregory Harnden, Alexandra Louise Haskell, Peyton Marie Hassenflew, Tate Arthur Hassenflew, Jacob Allen Hawk, Niles Vincent Heinlein, Mark Charles Hines, Ethan Neo Henry, Blake Peretta Herbal, Dylan Jacob Hernandez, Araceli Christina Herrera, Scott McCants Holt, Kenneth Hirsch, Paige Marie Hessenflow, Lena Heukelbach, Matthew Edward Hicks, Daniel Knight Hill, Owen Christopher Hill, Catherine Grace Heiss, Hazel Ray Hitchcock, Madeline Louise Lobick, Gibson Francis Hefkin, Matthew Canfield Hogan, Aiden Zane Hallbrook, Carson Rose Holtgraves, Sydney Nicole Horton, Olivia Madeline Haugill, Alexandra Sinclair Huffman, Emma Elaine Hunt, Maya Colleen Hutcherson, Ethan James Huxtable. Matthew Alexander Hyatt. Annalise Renee M. Amara Ivancic. Brianna Angelina Shante Jantz. Iman Maya Jarudi. Christian Jesperson. Abigail Michelle Johnson. Sarah Ann Jones. Christopher Justice. Mia Lee Ha Justice. Anna Louise Canali. Julia Rita Capros. Donna Marie Kay. Carson Reese Kendall. Grace Elizabeth Kenny. Megan Amaro Kenny. Audrey Francis Kessler. William Thorey Keel II. Mallory Rose Kirk. Carter Thomas Kirkland. William Grant Klein. Isabella Angelina Kloster. Cal Thomas Kanabi. Scott Thomas Nubley. William Avery Knutson. Kaylee Christine Koch. Chloe Lesage Kowalski. Caleb Samuel Krakow. Chloe Elizabeth Kraus. Zachary Davis Kraus. Benjamin Clark Krebs. Dylan Thomas Krieg. Meredith Amber Cruz. Sophie Alexis Cunin. Miana Melika Laine. Charles Gould Lamoth. Amber June LaPrairie. Griffin Niels Larson. Riley Lauren Lathram. Tyler Dominic Laughlin. Catherine Olivia Linger. Jacob Alexander Lewis. Brian Lee. Peyton Lindsay Lieb. Emma Marie Linscott. Claire Margaret Long. Daniel Alexander Long. Nicholas Charles Long. Kaya Nuanchan Longboribun. William Patrick Lewisell. Jacob Cade Lowry.
Elias Samuel Lowland. Colin Kenneth Lowry. Taylor Ann Luce. Sam Henry Lecce. Thomas Russell Luger. Samantha Faye Ludwig. Anne Canfield Lynch. Catherine Rose McAdam. Harrison Cole Mahusky. Maxwell Alden Madej. Gwendolyn Rose Madden. Haley Elizabeth Maish. Dalton M. Hall. Julian Cisneros Marin. Laura D. Martison. Zane Scott Martin. Alexandra Rebecca Matson. Kaylin Madison McCann. Lauren Nicole McCaskey. Anna Carol McClelland. Paige Catherine McClelland. Claire Renee Parrish McCormick. Caroline Tinka McCrae. Cooper Brock McCullough. Riley Grace McCullough. Audrey May McDonald. John Alexander McDonald. Austin J. Eugene McDougall. Matthew William McGannon. Hannah C. McConville. Jonathan H. Mead. Samuel Curry McKnight. Hazel Margaret McLean. Larkin Louise McLiney. Peter Gray McMonigal. Hannah Elizabeth McPhail. Matthew Bennett Meads. William Henry Meads. George Henry Meeker. Ava Adele Meng. Clarence Markland Miller. Isabel Jane Miller. Patrick James Moffett. Laura Katharina Molteni. Jamie Reagan Monty. Andrew Alexander Graham Moore. Kayla Emily Mora. Claire Autumn Jane Moran. Charles Robert Moreland. Kirby Ann Motzinger. Brett Richard Molen. Christopher M. Minar. Harper Delaney Mundy. Thomas Robert Murguia. Madeline Rose Mother. Nicole Marie McNashny. Alexander Jacob Naylor. Sophia Grace Niermeyer. Thomas Murphy Nelson. McBride Charles Newman. Faith Marie Nicholson. Oliver Eaton Nichols. Arthur Nugent. Elizabeth Jacqueline O'Connor. Catherine Claire Odell. Diego Marcel Oliva. Frank Joseph Opelka. Emily Claire Osborne. Chase Tyler Owens. Lauren Marie Packer. David Palacios. Alex Bradley Paris. Christopher Robert Patrick. Cameron Michael Patty. Kate Elizabeth Paulus. Sydney Pearson. Diana Claire Percy. Gabrielle Nicole Perdomo. Paige Elizabeth Peters. Whitney Marie Peterson. Elizabeth Marie Petrie. James Thomas Phillips. Shane Cole Phillips. Jensen Reisner Pindell. Sophia Rose Pomeroy. James Robert Popper. Emma E. Price. Kendall Matthew Price. Camry Elizabeth Prim. Jason Owen Pritchard. Shaylee Proust. William Gregory Harrison Quick. Grant Radel. Samuel Charles Ragland. Ricardo Ajit Ramaswamy. Jennifer Louise Rangel. Cameron Robert Ream. Jorge Regalado. Ava Grace Richter. Ava Loren Renko. Emma D. Renwick. Virginia Taylor Rivera. Dennis James Rice. Jaron Grace Richards. Annabelle Andress Rickson. Ayla McHale Roberts. Jacob Douglas Roberts. Nicholas Roberto Rodriguez Hanley. Kelly Christine Romer.
John Roney Jr. Jacob Kurt Ronnekamp. Evan Thomas Root. Zoe Louise Ryland. Oscar Saperstein. Bailey William Savino. Noah Daniel Savino. Andrew Michael Schmidt. Jackson Dunphy Schumann. Michael Hunter Schrammel. Frank Ryan Schutte. Jackson Edward Schultz. Justin Tyler Schumann. Ian P. Shutt. Benjamin Scott. Benjamin Braxton Shackelford. Jonah Michael Shaver. Teresa Ann Shockley. Ava Catherine Simonson. Jackson Patrick Slusher. Madison Rose Smiley. Bailey Ann Elizabeth Smith. Isabel Grace Smith. Sophie Mae Smith. Martha Lawrence Sneezick. Isabella Rose Stamati. Quincy Ray Stanford. Henry Thomas Stanton. Sophia Marie Steckschulte. Taylor Phelps Stewart. Jesse Renee Stint. John Rutledge Stockwell. Rachel Page Stockwell. Gracie Lynn Stetzer. Dante Jameson Stokes. Grace Carol Stolberg. Julia Ann Stopperin. Madeline Ray Stump. Matthew William Sublette. George Owen Sullivan. Patrick Jeremiah Sullivan. Ellen Suzanne Swanson. Lily Marianne Swanson. Oscar N. Swartz. Tyler Joseph Truey. Thomas Preston Sweat. Molly Grace Turlow. Rayla Tiemann. Ellen Rose Toma. Pierce James Thompson. Samuel Neal Thompson. Robert Thomas Tilden. Ty Nathaniel Toll. Matthew Alexander Treechek. Carter Ryan Triple. Gabrielle Anna Troop. Alexander Nichiro True. Catherine Ann Uresti. Alexis Maria Vaca. Melanie Annette Vall. Stacy Valdez. Ellie Marin Van Gordon. Mia Amari Vaught. Robert Donald Veglin. Nuvia Gisela Vela Lieva. Layla Jessie Villanueva. Julius Ingmar Line von Rautenfeld. Alyssa Ann Villeman. Brett Robert Wainwright. Abigail Louise Walker. Avery Tate Walker. Rachel Ann Walter. Cooper Joseph Walton. Catherine Jean Watkins. Jonah Christian Watt. Peyton Christian Watts. Joseph Flick Webster. Graham Michael Wegner. Alex Campbell Wakesser. Caitlin May Welch. Kate Elizabeth West. Ellie Christine Westoff. Abigail Rose White. Alexander Vincent White. Natalie Rose White. William Arliss Wiggins. Peyton James Wickland. Sarah Catherine Wilcox. Sarah Keylynn Wilkerson. Anna Nielsen Williams. Elizabeth Lee Willis. Austin Lee Wilson. Willa Jane Wimmer. Nicholas Patrick Wohler. Drake David Woods. Catherine E. Woods. Jack Ross Workman. Tessa Nicole Warner. Ingrid Amit Worth. Savannah Keene Worthington. Nicole Leanne Wright. Lingwan Wu. Victoria Taylor Yato. Zachary Alexander Yo. Isabella Marie Zanoni, excuse me. Jarrett Nathaniel Zelliff. Megan Alexandra Zelmer. Emily Maciel Garcia Zapata. Alexander Julian Zuga Zagoitia. Max Stahlbaumer.
How about a quick round of applause for the class of 2018? Members of the Board of Education, fellow administrators, family and friends of the graduates, and ladies and gentlemen of the Shawnee Mission East class of 2018. It is wonderful to have you here. Thank you for joining us on this special night. Before I attempt to impart a few final words of wisdom, I want to recognize some of the very important people joining us this evening. Parents and guardians, thank you for being here. You are the most important people in the lives of the students you see before you. You have helped your sons and daughters grow, learn, and develop into the young men and women graduating tonight. Through countless hours of encouraging, prodding, negotiating, and numerous conversations that always seem to include the phrase, "I turned it in, the teacher just hasn't put it in Skyward yet." You have finally made it to that long-awaited and much-anticipated event known as graduation. But it wasn't easy. From last-minute class projects to upset stomachs and forgotten lunches, late nights and prom nights and tryouts and walkouts and best friends and no friends and cell phones and Snapchats and schoolwork and homework and practices and games and events. And through it all was the knowledge that someday it would come to an end and you would find yourself here on this night looking down on your graduate with pride and happiness and a little bit of sadness too. You've watched over tonight's graduates and kept them moving forward even when they didn't think they could. Thank you for sending us such amazing students. Grandparents, extended family, and friends, you have also had a significant influence in the lives of the graduates you see before you. You have provided wisdom and support and guidance and encouragement. You have been there through good times and some not so good times. You provided friendship and unconditional love. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for all you have done for our students, our school, and our community. Fellow administrators, you have made an incredible difference in the lives of the students you see before you. Your role began when they came to your buildings as kindergartners. You helped nurture, encourage, and teach them. You taught them how to read and write and how to play and blow their nose with Kleenex, and most importantly, you instilled in them a love of learning. You modeled patience and kindness and the importance of treating others with respect. And Shawnee Mission East benefited from your efforts. Thank you for all you have done for the students you see before you. Teachers, counselors, social workers, paraprofessionals, after parents and family, you are the most important people in our graduates' lives. You taught them so much more than subjects and a love of learning. You taught them determination, how to advocate for themselves, how to fail forward, and how to be responsible. You taught them to be kind and thoughtful and accepting, and that it's okay to be smart, and it's okay to do well, and at the same time, it's okay to fail. We often learn more from failure than we do from success. You have helped tonight's graduates learn dedication, perseverance, and bravery. As you look at the students seated with you tonight, I hope you feel a great deal of pride, and I hope you know that all of us thank you for your experience, your energy, your love of learning, and your commitment to the art and craft of teaching. Thank you. And finally, members of the Shawnee Mission East class of 2018, back to you. You are, after all, the reason we are here. Congratulations, you did it. Give yourselves a round of applause. I mentioned this a few days ago during graduation practice, but I want to say it again for the benefit of everyone with us tonight. This class, the class of 2018, is very special to me. I began this year by issuing a challenge to be leaders, a challenge to accept greater responsibilities, a challenge to work with me and the adults seated with you to create a kind of school that you could be proud of, that others would respect and admire and even aspire to. I knew that if any class was going to be able to set that kind of tone, one of kindness, respect, perseverance, and a commitment to excellence, it would be the class of 2018. I'm proud to say you not only met my expectations, you exceeded them. And so in this, my final graduation as the principal of Shawnee Mission East, I want to thank each and every one of you for accepting my challenge, for setting the bar for future classes, and for making this the best year a principal could ask for. It's at this point where I traditionally, thank you. It's at this point where I have traditionally talked about what to expect when you leave tonight as a high school graduate. I would love to be able to share with you the secrets to success, happiness, longevity, wealth, and joy. But to be honest with you, I'm not sure what is waiting for you. I can tell you that you're entering a world that is at times divisive, challenging, frustrating. But I can also tell you you're entering a world that is filled with beauty, kindness, and love. And here's the good news. You're ready for both. With the help of your parents, extended family, and the many wonderful and talented educators you've spent time with over the past 12 years, you have the knowledge and skills you need to make a significant positive impact on this sometimes challenging but always breathtaking world. So while I can't tell you exactly what life has in store, I thought I would share a little bit about my own story that I hope will give you a small amount of courage and confidence. As most of you know, I grew up in Emporia, Kansas. It was a pleasant place to grow up, a small, safe community where I spent most weekends hunting and fishing and spending time with friends. Since we had all been together since kindergarten, everyone knew everyone and everyone helped keep an eye out for each other. In some ways, it was not very different from the East community. Most of our parents knew each other and went to school together, and then they raised their own families where they grew up and sent their own children to the same schools they attended. In May of my senior year in high school, I had a nagging decision to make. What was I going to do with the rest of my life? As a result of a debilitating condition I have since learned was incurable senioritis, I had put off thinking about my future until a few weeks before graduation. Some of you may have experienced this horrible affliction. The way I saw it, I had two choices: go to Emporia State University and study an undetermined subject toward an undetermined destination, or go to work full-time in one of the two large plants in town, Dolly Madison and Iowa Beef Processors, also known as the Beef. At the time, I wasn't sure I had the brains or the motivation to go to college, and so I settled on getting a job at the Beef. And here is what I want you to take from this. I'm 18 years old, just about to graduate from high school. I'd never been anywhere further than Kansas City, and my life's goal was to live the rest of my life in Emporia and work at a meat processing plant. On the surface, it sounds pretty bleak, but you know what? I was thrilled with that decision because it was my decision. I was making my own decisions. I had a plan. I was going to get a job at the Beef. I was going to rent a trailer, a very nice trailer. And I was going to go to work and then go home and make spaghetti for dinner and watch baseball. And on the weekends, I would hunt and fish. And then I would work and hunt and fish and eat spaghetti until I died. So how did I get from there, a simple work until you die dream, to standing in front of you today? I'll tell you what happened. Life happened. This crazy, beautiful, frustrating, ridiculous thing called life. I applied for the Beef, and I got an interview. I went to take my physical, as in was informed that my wrists were not strong enough to pull and cut meat 8 hours a day, and so I didn't get the job. My dream was thwarted by weak wrists. So in my anger and frustration, I did what you should never do. I walked into an Army recruiter station. If you take nothing else away from tonight, take this. Never go into an Army recruiter station when you're frustrated and angry. They see you coming a mile away. Anyway, the rest played out in a way I could have never predicted. I joined the military, was sent to Fort Benning, Georgia, and later Fort Wainwright, Alaska. I proudly served the United States Army, and when I was done with my commitment, I went to college in Arizona and studied English. I later moved back to the Kansas City area, met my wife, started teaching at Trail Ridge Middle School and later at East, and the rest, as they say, is history. So why do I share all this with you? I tell you this to let you know that your dreams, however outlandish or silly or impossible or irresponsible they may sound, are important. Because they're yours. You've got to dream big, crazy, ridiculous dreams and then start your journey toward them. And be prepared for them to happen, because they might. But, and this is the most important part, be prepared if they don't, because they might not. Life is going to throw you some curveballs. You've just got to accept that and be ready for them. Adjust, regroup, and keep moving forward. Always forward. Never stop striving and dreaming and growing and learning. Yes, you're going to be faced with adversity. Yes, you're going to have to deal with the unexpected. And yes, you can do it. Enjoy the journey and where it takes you. As Mark Twain said, 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than the things you did. And I think a modern interpretation can be found in the words of an equally well-known social theorist and satirist, Post Malone, who said, "I dreamed it all ever since I was young. They said I wouldn't be nothing. Now they always say, congratulations. I worked so hard, I forgot how to vacation." It's not easy bringing those two together. Twain, and I gave it my best shot. Other than a few casual conversations during the after-graduation party later tonight, this will be the last time I will speak to you as a group. This is the last time you'll hear me going on and on about making good choices, taking care of each other, and watching out for each other. So here they are, my final words of wisdom. Take what you have learned over the past 12 years of school and use it to make a difference in the world. Don't be afraid. Don't ask what if. Don't worry about failure. Whatever you do, do it to the very best of your ability. And whatever you do, don't quit. Someday, and it happens fast, you'll be in the stands of a football stadium, looking down on your own graduating senior. And you too will ask yourself, have I done enough? Are they ready? And are they prepared for the world that is waiting? It is my hope that you will say, yes, I have done enough. They're ready. I've done all I can do. And now it is up to them. And so, Shawnee Mission East, class of 2018, now it is up to you. I believe in you. We all believe in you. The time is finally here to show the world what you can do. Stay in touch, make good choices, take care of each other, and remember, it's always great to be a Lancer. Thank you. Before the class of 2018 choir begins the school song, I want to share a little bit with you about how the rest of this evening will go. At the conclusion of the school song, I want to invite family members who are able to do so to join their graduate on the field for pictures and congratulatory hugs. Also, since diplomas will not be handed out at the conclusion of tonight's event, they will be available Monday through Friday between the hours of 7:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. in the East Main entrance. If you need assistance from a Shawnee Mission East staff member for physical needs, we will get to you and assist you with leaving the stadium, but we ask that you please be patient as those who can and want to make their way to the field can do so. Once again, on behalf of the Shawnee Mission East High School and the Shawnee Mission School District, I want to thank you for being with us this evening. At this time, I would like to ask students and guests with us this evening to rise, stand up, move your tassels on your caps from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. Mr. Foley, would you please lead us in the school song?
Shawnee Mission, hail to thee. Lancers we will ever be. We stand behind our colors bright. Columbia blue, black and white. High school days too soon are gone, but fond memories linger on. May our spirits be increased, and God watch over us at least.
This does conclude the 2018 Shawnee Mission East graduation. At this time, I would like to invite family members to join their graduate on the field for pictures. Thank you and good night.